and outdoor activities. इसको briefly बताएं क्या है? 1, 2, 3. What is that out of all this serious work that you do?
So I think I've developed the habit of being more sporty in life because I think it's connected to longevity. So I think I started studying longevity a couple of years ago. That if you need to live long, if you need to live, you need to live long, and you need to live healthy. And the kind of work that we do with a lot of stress that we have,
Yes.
oftentimes we don't take care of ourselves.
Exactly.
And I come from a family where I only studied for my medicine, then I got married, then I had my children, and then I started my company, and I never lived for myself or did a lot of things for myself. So now that I'm realizing that time is less, I'm kind of accelerating my efforts to do what I like.
Right.
So I'm proud that I learned swimming as my first daughter learned swimming when she was 5 years old.
Excellent.
I started horse riding with her, so I learned to ride a horse.
Oh, I
think
love
that.
horses.
One of my favorite hobbies to do if I get the time. I exercise pretty regularly, so I try to play a lot of sport with my children, and that's my time when I'm in the gym or when I'm on a horse or when I'm in the pool. That's my happy time. Music is something that goes on in the background for everyone else, but I think music is something, and poetry is something that my partner religiously does as therapy. So I think she has better things to add on music and poetry.
Let's hear from her.
So I think I just really enjoy music of any kind, and usually if I'm having a really good day or a bad day, what I'll do is I'll get in my car, I'll make my driver sit on the back seat, I'll drive. Volume is going to be it's going to be full volume.
अच्छा.
So मुझे गाना है वो full volume, मुझे कहते हैं ना वो जो I guess from a younger age,
Yes.
तो वो बंदा करने situation होती है. So that's something that I really enjoy. So whether I'm depressed, I just feel music really takes me out of it. Or if I'm happy, that's how I really celebrate that. Okay, it's music. My daughters.
What kind of music, if you don't mind my asking?
I think any kind of music. It really depends on the mood. But for example, old Indian classical, old Pakistani classical, Pakistani pop, from Ali Haider to Junaid Jamshid to Junoon, all of those.
Right, all those. Depending on the mood.
Yeah, and also some English music also. और मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि my daughter introduced me to BT. BT. So वो भी चलेगा.
अच्छा, चलेगा. Very nice, very nice. So this it kind of inculcates that how do you take care of yourself, your psychological health, right? Are there any other ways that do you see others, psychologists or therapists, or do you recommend that to other doctors? I know it's not a trend in Pakistan, but it is kind of getting there.
So interestingly, we have an entire mental health department.
Okay.
And we actively work in the area of mental health. So जो 3 segments में हम काम करते हैं, whether it's the community through the e-health clinics, or our consumer application, corporate application, or the helpline. We have mental well-being experts across all the 4 areas. In the clinic, work actively with the partner, which is British Asian Trust. So with them to give a service which otherwise would have been really expensive for the communities. So we make mental well-being available in the form of psychologists and psychiatrists for the communities. And British Asian Trust supports in helping us subsidize that. But in the application as well, a lot of corporates take this service for their employees. So out of these 860, a large number of corporates also take mental well-being for their employees. And then just bypassing general physicians ki helpline hai, which is 24/7. We have a mental health helpline, which is 929. And the idea is, health is a really important part of your health.
True.
But if you talk about us, which is something that I just want to mention, then how do we take care of our mental health, like me and her? I think you're absolutely right. There isn't a concept of therapist that's so common. But we do encourage that if anyone in our company is going through a mental health issue, they do reach out to professional help. I think for us, Sehat Kahani is Sehat Kahani today because we've done it together. So we have a very kind of interesting relationship, almost too good to believe. That when we come to work, I think the first half an hour or so we went with each other on what's happening at work, what's happening with you, what's happening with me, what's happening at home, and then we let it off each other. And because Iffat and I, we are blessed that we are in the exact same time in our lives. We both have two daughters, all very, very same ages. So we go through very similar challenges. We come from very similar values as families as well. So we know each other's challenges. So one helps the other get out of it. So, if a very tough time at home, we'll just, I'll just sit with her and say, okay, I need to talk to you for 2 minutes, and she'll do the same. We'll talk with each other, we'll sort that issue out, and then we will go back to work. And, if there's a bad day at work, if bad things are happening at work, then if one of us is down, the other one will buck it up, and vice versa. So we know how to get into that role because we know that at many times we are each other's support. So we need to be there with each other, and it comes very naturally. So we don't force it. It's a very natural bond, and we're very blessed, touch wood, to have that bond with each other. So I think we are therapists.
Absolutely.
When time comes.
So I think, sorry, go ahead. Why don't you go ahead?
I was at this conference, Leap, and there was a group of different founders who were sitting. 2 or 3 of them were married to each other, and there was one solo founder, and that founder was like, "But I think I'm happy being a solo founder. How do you guys manage?" And I was like, "Yeah, I could never manage without my co-founder. Who do you get about? Who do you talk to?" Yes, managing and doing his work. So who do you talk to? And I was like, "Oh my God."
Exactly. Tell me about your experiences as parents in this work, through this work, and however you want to take this question. First, how do you feel as a parent?
I think it's challenging. I think for a working mother with young children, having your own company, having a big operation where so many people are dependent on you, or you are managing so many people. I think dependent is the right word. It's tough for you as a mother. Because you're expected to be everywhere at all times, giving your 100%, and something or the other, is not 100% when you're managing so many things together. So we're not just a mother, we're a wife, we're a sister, we're a daughter, we're a co-founder, we're a CEO. But I think that, it really takes a village for a woman to do this. And both of us try to find that village in our family, in our husbands, our mothers, in our mother-in-laws. The good thing about me personally is that, I have been able to create an environment where everyone understands that this is important to me. They know that I have to do this. It is my passion, and they do accommodate me. They do help me. And then when time comes, I play my part in giving back. So everything is a two-way street. But yes, it is challenging. And sometimes from 6 in the morning to 12 in the night, we don't know where the day has gone by between homeworks and tests and fix and drops and company meetings. But, it is rewarding at the end of the day to have 2 daughters and having them see a life in which, personally for me, I live in a joint family. So personally for me, I think the example that I want to set for my daughters is it's okay for a woman to work, have a career, have a family. It's okay for the fathers to look at the kids also. It's okay for the parents and the parents-in-law, the grandparents to also pitch in. But at the end of the day, I think they're seeing 2 women who are striving to get what they want and being accepted by society at the same time. So when my daughter grows up, she'll grow up with the notion that it is normalized to work and have a family and do the both together, which is unfortunately not a norm for a lot of women in our country. Even today, so many women are guilted to give up their careers, to be a good or to be a good wife. But that boundary is set only and only by the person themselves or the person who's forcing them. Maybe there's a way you can do both together equally well. So I think that's something that is very important to us as parents, that we should set that example to our children. And I think Sehat Kahani, if parenting is something, then Sehat Kahani is also a baby. So I say that I have 3 children. I have my older daughter, Sehat Kahani, younger daughter. So, that's also a child I need to look after.
Yes. Do you have anything to add or? Yeah, sure.
It's really hard. No one talks about the harder parts. And, you jump into parenthood, it's also rosy.
You're not prepared with that. Never.
Yeah. You're just always told the bright side of it.
Yes.
But
Deception.
For women, in Pakistan, particularly who are working, I think a decade is really, gone in you trying to build a family. And if you're building a career also, so technically all that decade is just gone in building a career and building a family. And I think through Sehat Kahani, I think I've been blessed that I really didn't need any external friends, because agar banane bhi hote, to very honestly, we probably didn't have the time. So I think through we were able to really create that or fill that void of friendship that was really needed in that decade. But I think apart from that, it's also joyful because, the little children depend on you for such little things, and there are some moments that you feel you'll always hold on to and always remember, which make your day really positive that, oh my God, this is something that happened. I think in my journey, my husband's really supportive. I don't have much of a family support apart from my husband, but I think apart from that, I've been lucky in making a good, what should I say, domestic care support network around me. It's really stable, which is really trustworthy, which I think as Pakistanis, we really lack because we don't have a strong daycare system here. I think that's about how I've built that, network around me of people who are there for my children if I'm not able to look after them.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful. You have covered husbands before I asked. So thank you. Before I was like, let me go to that area, but no.
That's important.
I think we both are blessed with good human beings.
Yeah, that's important. Yeah.
Work and support us and treat us as equals. So I think we're very blessed with it.
So I would really appreciate at this time for your time and for all the efforts you're doing and for the energy that you put in, and your the way you're coming across is really what we need. It is quite, at least for me, it is coming out very genuine. And I hope my audience can express that. So anything you would like to suggest, say something powerful to people, how to parent in these times?
I think very honestly, I think both of us are not experts yet.
How do your daughters see you both? Are they happy with you? Do they get like, oh, mom, come in?
I mean, I think both of our older daughters are preteens, and preteens usually don't like anyone. They're upset with everyone on planet. But there's everyone, every mother and every child have such a unique bond.
That's okay. That's okay.
If you ask me, I think when I go back to my house, I think the happiest if I am is to see my children. Particularly the young one, because she still comes in that babyish age. She wants to hug you and kiss you. The older one
doesn't. Oh, okay.
But it's also a joy and pleasure to see
true. How they are growing.
You see the different stages in their life and really yourself in them in a lot of ways. And I think kids generally inspire to be their parents, or they say that a lot of you is your childhood inside when you grow up. So we're just glad that they're seeing a wholesome family. I think that's what really wholesome family, a wholesome environment where they can cultivate.
True.
So I think you should ask our children.
That's true. I hope so. I hope to ask them then. When you are sitting there, maybe in person, I'll come to Karachi and ask them.
But I think as mothers, we also know that first priority is always and always our children and our family. We have no two concepts about it. Family is the most important thing in the world. Has to be. Work is a part of life. It's not life, but family is your life. So of course, our children need us. Then work takes the backseat, and that's very clear in our minds, as any mother would have.
I assume you concur with what she said. Yes. Okay. All right.